hot.
The mics are hot?
Mics are hot, red hot.
Well, good morning. Today is Friday, May 20th, 2016 on our calendar. And I want to welcome you all to the inaugural plank laying episode of the Jody Mitic Podcast. Now, if you know me and you've been following me for the years, you will know that I have had no less than 3 different podcasts that I've tried. And I started with Never Quit Radio, which was not bad. It was kind of okay, and I did it on that. I can't even remember what server I did it on. It was the same one Joe Rogan started on, and it was all right. Took video. And then I did try it again with Never Quit Radio. And then my buddy Luke and Nick and I tried to do a podcast. And although we never posted any of them, they were lost to the interwebs somewhere. And or a broken hard drive or something. We're not really sure what happened to them, but they're out there somewhere. Somebody has them. I'm sure they'll pop up in 25 years when we're old and decrepit and are just trying to forget what we did in our youth. Well, I guess I should introduce my man Luke Rowan is right next to me. Say hi, Luke.
I am here. Good morning.
And we're actually sitting in the parking lot at Movati in Orleans, Ottawa. If you don't know what Movati is, it's like it's a gym. It's got it's like one of those dance club gyms, you know. It's got a smoothie bar and it's got a pool table. It's got TVs everywhere, and they should play shitty music the whole time that you're in there. So you got to wear over-the-ear headphones to drown it all out, and then that way it's awesome. So we all do that, and nobody talks to each other. So it's very antisocial when you're in there working out.
100%.
100%. And also the other day, I guess a young lady was working out in here, and someone decided her anatomy was too awesome for the premises.
There was a little confusion.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad for the image of this place. But anyway, without getting into too much detail about that, let's just say that this is to get an episode up on the air because I'm on my way to San Diego to do the podcast of Jocko Willink. Jocko wrote a book called Extreme Ownership, How Navy SEALs Train and Win, I believe is the title. But it's about leadership. And he was Navy SEAL Task Force commander in Iraq, mostly around Ramadi. And he actually, Chris Kyle, the American sniper, who I'm sure you've all heard of, was part of his task force. He was in one of the platoons that Jocko was a commander of. And I've got a big opportunity here to crack the American market with my book, Unflinching. If you don't know, I have a book. It's called Unflinching. It's now out in paperback. And it's been on the bestseller list since it came out. So, of course, I want to thank everyone for that. And you know, this is an opportunity that came about because of... Luke, do you know how this happened?
I don't.
Because you're a massive Jocko Willink fan, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we kind of found him together.
Yeah, I...
we both heard him on Joe Rogan, I think, at the same time.
Yeah, and then I immediately went and got the audiobook.
Yes.
Of his book.
Yes, we downloaded it on the same day, I believe.
Yep, that's true. And it was awesome. I've actually gone through it twice now.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought the book, and now I'm reading it again before I go on his podcast. And for me, being a combat guy, he didn't say anything I didn't already know because I have the leadership training and all that from the military. But he put it so now that he's retired from the Navy SEALs, he goes around and he helps companies with their leadership issues and management and leadership issues. So, but what he did was like I said, he wasn't telling me anything I didn't know, but he put it into terms that I could apply it in the civilian world.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was like, I remember listening to the book, and I'm like, I know this. And I'm like punching the dashboard of my Jeep as I'm driving around listening to it because I'm like, that's so simple. and it would do such amazing things for my office because since I got elected to city council, managing, I'm used to working in small teams, snipers, right? We're like 1 to 4 man teams. And so I'm just used to being able to say something and it getting done because I'm working with a bunch of snipers. Well, the civilian world is different, and also in my office, I am supreme leader. What I say absolutely 100% goes. Not when it doesn't when you're the leader of a sniper team either, but in that setting, it's less of a dictatorship and more of a I don't know what would you call it, like democratic dictatorship.
Yes. So everybody could have some input.
I encourage everyone to have input,
Right.
And I guess that's just not the norm in politics.
Right. Okay.
And so, my staff were just, expecting me to tell them what to do and when to do it.
Right.
And I was like, I need you to get this done. And I would walk away.
And then they need instructions.
Well, then I'd come back a day or 2 or 3 later and I'd be like, did you get that done? And they'd be like, well, I didn't know how you wanted me to do it. And I would get really frustrated because I'd be like, I just want it done. How about that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you need me to hold your hand? Turns out, in a few cases, I did. But that's, and so, or the reverse was, I would say, get that done and walk away and go in my office and start doing emails or something and get interrupted with a knock on the door every 5 minutes of, okay, well, I called so-and-so to try and get that done, and it was like step 1 of 20.
Right.
And I would be like, come back when you're done getting that done. And they would come back 10 minutes later. Yeah, hey, just so you know, so-and-so called me back and we talked about this. And I'm like, okay, again, you're interrupting me while I'm trying to work. Go do the job I gave you. Come back when it's done. But I guess that just isn't how these people were used to operating. So anyway, Jocko's, his biggest thing and the basis of all combat is what we in Canadian Forces call fire and movement. And you always have a foot on the ground, which means, so if you and I are a fire team, I don't move unless you're covering for me.
Right.
Right? So we know where the threat area is roughly. So you would have your rifle up, pointed in that direction, and then I would move. And then I would stop and I would take up, a sight picture on whatever I thought the highest threat was, and then you would move. Or if we were in an engagement, one of us shoots at who's shooting at us while the other guy maneuvers to get to a better spot to lay fire on that threat.
Right.
And then once that person's in place and firing, then that's when the other guy moves. So it's called fire and movement, cover and move.
Right.
And so Jocko and his buddy who wrote the book with him, they were like, yeah, this applies in business too. And I just kind of shook my head and I went, of course it does.
What?
So that day I walked into my office and I said, hey, from now on, because I looked at my team, and not that things weren't getting done, but I just found like, we were constantly, and I should have seen it, but I guess I just wasn't thinking in the right terms. And I just said, okay, from now on, whenever you do something, CC somebody else in the office. And then they kind of looked at me and they went, what? And I said, I want everybody to be aware of what's going on, no matter, regardless of if you're working on that file or not. So if you're doing something, you CC her, and if you're doing something, you CC him, and then we'll make sure that everybody's in the loop. Like that week, productivity in the office went through the roof.
Yeah, of course.
And ever since, it's been like smooth sailing because now everybody's on board, everybody's on the same page, and everybody just has realized how much easier it is when the others know what you're up to.
Right.
Because like things I've seen, like, so one of my staff is working on something that I gave them, and the other person will walk up and go, hey, I saw that you were doing this in the email, so I went and printed this off for you. Here you go.
Right. Awesome.
And that person's like, oh, sweet, thanks. It saves me running down to the printer. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I've been waiting for. Because I come from a world, I guess, where I just assume everybody knows how to do their job.
Right.
and I'm not in that world anymore.
Yeah.
And it's really taken me a while to accept the fact that I guess I'm not in that world, first of all, but also it's taken me a long time to accept the position that I'm in, really.
Right. Yeah, but it's a big change.
It's a massive change. It's awesome. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say a lot. A lot might be stretching.
Right.
It's a fun job.
Yeah.
Massively frustrating at many a time, but that's politics, right? That's democracy, and that's bureaucracy as well. Like anything else, like even the failed ways of doing government. The biggest, why did communism fail? Really? Because the bureaucracy sucked.
Right. Too much paperwork.
Too much paperwork. I bet you if they had figured out a way to streamline the administration of communism, it probably would have worked awesome.
It just would have been glorious.
Yeah. Wait, if they had found a way to be efficient with their paperwork,
right,
they would have just rocked the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But
they just needed more admins.
Or maybe less.
That's the thing.
Because they were giving everybody a job to, hey, you fill out Form 1, you fill out Form 2,
right. Yeah.
You stamp Form 1 and 2, now you photocopy Form 3. Okay, you, right? So anyway, let's get back on track a little bit here. So anyway, it's Friday morning. I'm supposed to go work out, but I got to go and get my stuff together to get to the airport because for international flights, you got to be 2 hours early, not a minute too later. You ever missed a flight?
No, I never have, actually.
Okay, so one time I called a cab. I said, you got to be at my house at whatever time because I have to be at the airport by whatever. And it was when they changed it from 30 to 60 minutes for domestic, and then from 60 minutes to 2 hours,
right,
for international. So I get in the cab. Cab is late, of course.
Sure.
Drives me to the airport, and I don't know why he's late. He shows up, doesn't give any explanation, of course, because why should he? And I'm only a customer. No. And then we get to the airport, and I run up to the self-check-in kiosk, and I put my ID in. Literally, at the time it cuts off.
Right.
Like that time is still showing, and it says sorry. So I'm literally like 10 seconds late.
Awful.
I flipped. So I run up to the counter. I'm like, God, I just got it. Okay, I'm here. And she's like, yeah, the system locks me out.
Right. Yeah, we couldn't possibly help you out here.
Well, I guess they used to be able to, but they would like do it for everybody because
right.
the customer service people would want to service the customer and make them happy.
Yeah.
So the system, the managers, all the people that don't have to deal with the paying customer, were like, well, that's inefficient. And also counter to what we told you to do. So they had someone write a system that locks everyone out of the computer at the exact time that you get cut off. Now, at a management level, I guess it makes sense because the planes are always late.
Right.
And now that I think about it, ever since they did that, I don't remember the last time I was on a plane that was delayed.
Okay. That makes sense then.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that, but delayed. They're not delayed as much,
right,
as they used to be. I shouldn't say that. I've been on a few that were delayed, but it's not usually like they're delayed by like half an hour. Now it's like 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
8 minutes is doable.
Yeah. So anyway, I missed that flight, and I had to buy another flight on the next one, and that kind of sucked because I was giving a speech down in London, Ontario, But yeah, man, like this is really exciting. Thanks for stepping up and agreeing to be my producer.
Yeah, man, like I said, I love this stuff. It's exciting. I want to be able to do it with you, and it's good to be part of the squad, Like I was up last night. I was trying to do things on the computer. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I know. I was texting with you. I'm like, dude, I'm falling asleep, and you're like, I'm raring to go. I got to get up at 4, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Sleep is for babies, first of all, and I know that because
call me a baby then. Well, change my diaper and powder my bum.
I was wondering why you had that huge bottle of milk with you this morning. But yeah, I'm excited to get it going and get it started. So it's great.
Yeah, we tried, me, you, and Nick, but we couldn't click our timings, and there was just too much uncertainty between the three of us. Location and availability and topics, and so I think now, and so Nick's gonna do his own as well.
Right on.
And so now, we'll go on do his.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come do mine. And if you start one, of course, we'll do it. And I think that way, though, we're not at the mercy of each other.
Yeah.
And so now, even if you're not around, I can record one and just hand you the file.
Absolutely.
And you can upload it to the interwebs for me.
Yep.
That's my biggest weakness.
Right.
If it's loading, like, as I'm doing it, I'm good to go.
Easy, no problem.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
But this guy, I don't know if it's a mental block where I've told myself I don't have the time to do the stuff where you got to compress the file and upload it and deconflict it or whatever you do when you're inside the system there to upload it to iTunes. But I just, I bought the Zoom, I bought these great microphones, and my buddy Tate Fletcher, who has a podcast called The Pirate Life, which I highly recommend. I've been on it, no big deal. And he also owns Caveman Coffee, which I use to make my butter coffee. If you want to know about that stuff, get on it because it's delicious. And hey, everybody says butter in your coffee. My dad was giving me shit for this yesterday. You put butter in your coffee, you crazy. And I'm like, Dad, butter's just cream.
Yeah.
In a different form.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. He's like, show me one thing that says butter's good for you. And I'm like, okay, go to the National Post last week.
I know.
He's like, what?
People look at me like my face is on sideways.
Yeah.
But they won't try it. And if they did try it, they'd change their lives.
It would. You should. Okay, anyone listening who hasn't tried it, I want you to get your blender. I want you to pour 8 to 20 ounces of coffee into it. And then if it's 8, I want you to put like a third of a tablespoon. If it's 20, I want you to put a full tablespoon of grass-fed, salt-free butter. And then add whatever you would normally to coffee after that. Whether I recommend stevia, but if you put honey or sugar or whatever, blend that shit for like a minute. It'll change your life.
Absolutely.
It'll change your life. It makes you feel good. It tastes good, and it gives you a nice little jolt of energy. And but anyway, where was I going with that? I started talking about Tate Fletcher, and then okay. But what were we talking about before that?
Before that, we were on flights and missing flights.
No, right before that, we were talking about me, you, and Nick.
Oh yeah, how like we would all do our separate thing and go around through the podcast. You didn't have the time to upload it, so
that's
I'm
what it is.
I'm gonna handle that business.
Yeah, if I was Jocko, you're my Echo Charles.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm actually gonna meet Echo Charles, and I don't know what his real name is.
I prefer just to believe that it's Echo Charles.
If it is, that'll be really dope.
If it isn't, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Like if his name's Terrence.
I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that his name is Terrence.
Or Jim.
No, thank you. No, thank you. It is 100% Echo Charles, or it's nothing. And
that's a pretty dope name.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just like, to me, it's not just Echo. It's Echo Charles. It's got to be the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
How cool would it be like if you're this hardcore military guy and like your first kid is Alpha, your second kid's Bravo.
Yes.
So if you're down, Echo would be the fifth kid.
Someone should be doing this. Amazing.
So I'll meet him. So you're gonna be my Echo Charles, and so like my biggest weakness was that I couldn't, get the whole like detailed production stuff done.
Right.
So now you gotta go. You know what I just noticed is Nick gave you the wrong mic cord.
I have a third cord.
Oh, you have
too.
a third cord.
Yeah.
And a third mic.
Yep.
Oh, he gave you his mic.
I don't know. Does he have a mic?
Didn't he? Remember we had to buy some? But these are these ones are both mine.
I don't know.
Remember we bought a third microphone,
Yeah.
but these ones that we're using, I bought, and they're really good.
Right.
And the one that we bought was not so good.
Not so good.
And then it got lost.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
somehow.
But then I bought a replacement.
You bought the replacement.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I want to say like around 50.
50?
I don't really remember though, but
I feel like I don't remember exactly. The ones I bought were like, I think were like 100 each.
oh shoot.
Maybe
Okay.
100, maybe more.
Right.
Yeah. And the Zoom I think was 250, 300.
Yeah.
I remember that day I was at Steve's Music downtown,
Right.
and when he told me the total cost, I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, totally worth it."
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And so it's I think it's been about, let's check. It's been 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I'm going to stop it there. This should be uploaded at some point. By the time you're hearing this, I will probably be back from San Diego, and we will carry on continuing to try to do this every 7 to 10 days.
Yep.
And also bring in some guests and have a good time. This is to help Jody 3.0. If you don't know, Jody 3.0 is me working out for a bodybuilding show in November. Also, talk a little politics, talk a little Canadian history, talk a little bit of world affairs, talk a little pop culture, maybe some parenting advice, because Luke, I noticed Forrest yesterday is turning into a young man there.
He is literally a little person now.
It's kind of crazy,
It's
right?
insane.
Suddenly it's like a
insane.
little person.
He went from a baby,
From a little pile of goo.
from a little pile of goo, and now he's like a little boy. And well, first of all, it makes it super fun. But now it's like it's a whole different way to deal with this person because
Yeah.
yeah.
You notice because when they can't get around on their own, they're actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
You just got to
Yeah.
keep them happy.
It is. Yep.
Now that they can get around on their own, you got to keep them from killing themselves.
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
literally can't go in the bathroom to take a shit without worrying about them killing. So you got to
No, that's too
you got to
long.
bring them in there
And
with you,
Yeah.
because they could do all kinds of damage in the 6 minutes that you're in there.
Yeah, and it doesn't even take that 6 minutes. It can be like 9 seconds, and like something is getting destroyed. Maybe that child himself.
Yeah. So, and you know what I've noticed? Like, how old is he now?
17 months.
So you've turned the parenting corner, I believe. Because the other part I realized, I was thinking about this last night and this morning, when we tried to do the Jody Luke Nick podcast.
Yep.
Forrest is brand new,
Yeah.
and I mean Nick and I would kind of like laugh because we'd be like, "What's Luke's problem?" Like, because you'd be like, "I can't go," or "I can't do this," so you wouldn't return calls or texts, and like you were so focused 150% on Forrest. And it took me a while to put two and two together. It's like, oh, he's got a new baby, and he's like, because you have the stepkids.
Yep.
But they're not your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they're your kids, but you weren't there when they were new.
That's right.
So this is first of all, Forrest is all yours.
Yep.
And he's brand new.
Yeah. So it's
you, it was like a whole new experience.
Yeah, my first run through
Your
that
first
phase.
true feeling of fatherhood.
Yep.
And so it took me a while to put two and two together. Like, oh, it's not that he doesn't want to hang out with us. It's that he's got a brand new little baby.
Yeah, man.
And then, so I was like, okay, well, and we had this talk. I remember I said, don't make decisions now based on what Forrest is like right now.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the gym and stuff like that. And then now all of a sudden it's like, ooh, Luke's texting me.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
this is interesting. So you've passed that corner where you realize, oh, he's good.
Things have
That's
opened
my
up a
little
little.
man. I got a few extra hours in the day.
Yep.
So that's good. So now we get to hang out more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Ayla and Kira. Kira's 4 now, man. She's gonna be 5 in December. It's like a whole nother person. Again, like every 6 months, I notice they kind of like it's like another like part of their personality starts to creep in.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, Kira is now like she's always been very interactive and very social, but now she she will initiate more conversation,
Right.
and like I walk in the door and she just starts talking.
Yeah.
She's always talked and stuff, but now it's different. She's not talking like at me, or she's not, it's not like the, hey daddy look at this. Now it's, hey, let's chat, I got something I got to talk to you about.
Right. Cool.
So I walk in the door and it's like, hey dad, do you know like this and this happened at school today? And then, check this out, and she'll like show me stuff that she's holding in her hand and she'll talk about it. So it's like, but it's different. She's like trying to have a conversation with me now.
Yeah, it's a different style of interaction.
Yeah, like she's kind of just evolved a little bit there. Yeah. And Ayla, wow, that kid, she continues to completely blow my mind. I'd be like, are you 7 or 21?
Yeah.
I'm confused, because your maturity level is just way out there, like way too mature to be my kid, especially. So, anyway, I think I said we were going to stop 10 minutes ago.
Something like that.
5 minutes ago. Okay, this is the Inaugural Jody Mitic Podcast. Don't judge us by today. We're just trying to get this done real quick before I jump on a plane. And we're going to try and have this up by, I don't know, you'll have it up soon?
Yeah, like I think within a few days is a totally reasonable expectation.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Keep downloading. Give us a chance. We will get better and more consistent with it. We like everything. This is brand new, and we want to get some feedback from you guys, the listeners. So, where do people find you, Luke?
On the interwebs, mostly Coach Luke Rowan.
Coach Luke Rowan,
Yeah.
because you are a coach.
I coach.
Are you a movement coach, or you're a function coach, or you're just a strength coach? Like, what would you classify yourself as?
I'm an everything coach in terms of like health and fitness.
Everything?
Everything. So I've been at it for a while now, about 10 years, and I integrate bits and pieces into what I do for my clients from all different aspects of fitness, because most people need bits of everything.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
know? And
you got me back into the saddle.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Right on.
When I was training with you, people were like, "Damn, look at the size of your arms, and those shoulders are popping and stuff."
Things were happening,
and we were doing good. And then my body just decided to fall apart.
It said no.
Yeah, but now that I'm doing the bodybuilding, that's more Nick's thing. So
yeah,
so Nick has helped me out with that. So, Coach Luke Rowan.
Coach Luke Rowan.
And so it's Coach LUKE
ROWAN.
And that's on
that's
Twitters,
on Instagram and Twitter.
The Instagram, the Twitties.
If you're on the Facebooks, you can find me as Luke Rowan.
So you want a bunch of friend requests?
Hey man,
for strangers?
I'm not afraid of anything.
You should be.
So
I'm on Jody Mitic on everything. JODYMITIC. I'm on the Twitters. I'm on the Instagrams. I'm on the Facebooks. I'm on the Snapchats.
You're Snapchatting?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, nobody does.
Tate Fletcher does.
True.
He Snapchats the shit out of his day.
Yeah, and then they disappear, right? Like they post
and
then they disappear.
I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess. I think it started as a good way to send each other like nudes.
Right. Yeah.
But it morphed into a social network, maybe.
Right.
Or maybe it was always supposed to be a social network, and someone just hacked it and decided to use it to send nudes.
Right. Yeah. Perfect.
I don't know. All I know is like you can send each other messages.
Right.
Or you can send like group things.
Yep.
And they're anything from like 1 to I think 10 seconds.
Okay. Quick.
And it's video or picture.
Right.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
How many more things do we need?
Well, we're gonna start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think Facebook has video now.
Yeah, they're playing that game now.
So basically, we got to get the podcast out as much as we can on as many platforms.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Coach Luke Rowan on Twitters and Instagram, Jody Mitic on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Like my page, follow me, tweet at me. I try to hit everybody back. If I miss you, hit me again and let me know. We're here for you guys. I appreciate the love. You guys have always supported me ever since I got blown up, and I want to bring you as many of you with me on this journey as I can, and I want to evolve and have you guys help me. And this is just another step in the direction of, wherever this life is going to take us. So this is the Jody Mitic Podcast. I'm out.